provide you with the lowest per GB rates, night or day. SLT 4G, driving you ever forward.
Firm on the decision, President Maithripala Sirisena says will respect court rulings but harden stand against Ranil Wickremesinghe. Defining stance, UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe says a legal government should be established if a general election is necessary. Conditions have weakened. International rating agencies downgrade Sri Lanka outlook. CBSL says ratings actions cannot be justified. Tough action. Police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse protesting university students in Colombo. Turning point. Luka Modric wins the 2018 Ballon d'Or, breaking Cristiano Ronaldo's and Lionel Messi's decade-long hold on the prestigious award.
බයික් එකක් ගත්තොත් ෆෝන් එකක්. ඔව්, තෝරාගත් Yamaha බයික් මාදිලි සඳහා රුපියල් 40000ක් දක්වා වටිනා ස්මාර්ට් ෆෝන් එකක් නොමිලේ. ඉක්මන් කරන්න නොවැම්බර් 30 දක්වා පමණයි. කොන්දේසි සහිතයි. අමතන්න 0117 AMW තින් පමණයි.
Good evening, bringing you news from across Sri Lanka and around the world on First at 9, other Derana 24/7 Sri Lanka's news channel. I'm Indivari Amuatha. As Sri Lanka's political uncertainty remains unresolved, President Maithripala Sirisena today pledged to put an end to the current political situation within the country during a period of a week. But the president insisted that he will not reinstate sacked Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, even if all 225 members of the parliament support him. President Maithripala Sirisena said this addressing the SLFP convention in Colombo today.
The convention of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party was held at the Sugatadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo today. Party members, including Central Committee members and district organisers, participate in the convention, which was held under the patronage of party leader President Maithripala Sirisena. Delivering a special statement to party members, the president reiterated that his decision on October 22nd to appoint Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister was taken for the betterment of the people of this country.
Sri Lanka Nidahas Paksheta Maithripala Sirisena Janadipattumanta
එය නිවැරදි වන්නේ දේශපාලන දර්ශනයක් තුල රට වෙනුවෙන් ගත් තීන්දුවක් නිසායි. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා 62,50,000ක් ඡන්දේ පාවිච්චි කරමින් නිර්මාණය කළ යහපාලන දේශපාලන ප්‍රබුද්ධ සංකල්පය ඔව් අමුවේ ඝාතනය කළා. එය මා අවුරුදු 3මාරක් ඉවසමින් ඉතා අසීරු ගමනක් ආවා. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා ඉවත් කර මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහතා පත් කිරීම හදිසියේ අහම්බයක් නොවේ. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා මේ රටේ වැදගත් දේශපාලන පක්ෂයක් වූ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයක් විනාශ කළා. ඔහු යම් ප්‍රමාණයකට මාවත් විනාශ කළා. ඒ සියල්ලටම දීමට තිබූ එකම විසඳුම සහ පිළිතුර රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ අගමැති පුටුවෙන් පන්නා දැමීමයි කියන එකයි මම තීන්දුව කළේ. උතුරේ ජනතාව ඔහු රැවට්ටුවා. රට කඩන්න නැතුව, රට පාවා දෙන්න නැතුව, රට බෙදන්න නැතුව, රට ෆෙඩරල් කරන්න නැතුව. උතුරේ ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන් දී යුතු දේ දීම ඔහු පැහැදිලිවම හිතාමතාම අතපසු කළා. මම ගැසට් නිවේදන 5ක් ගැහුවා විධායක බලය පාවිච්චි කරලා. ඒ ගැසට් නිවේදන 5ටම මම අත්සන් කළේ ඊටාම පවිත්‍ර වූ චේතනාවෙන් මේ රට වෙනුවෙන් රට බේර ගන්නයි. පසුගිය සති දෙකේ තුනේ ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය අභියාචනාධිකරණය හමුවට ගිය පිරිස්වලට ඒ සියලු ඉදිරිපත් වූ නඩු සම්බන්ධයෙන් නඩු විභාග කර අවසන් තීන්දුව දුන්නේ නැහැ. කීපයකට අතුරු තහනම් නියෝග ලැබුණා. මම සෑම විටම අධිකරණයට ගරු කරනවා. මේ අර්බුදයේදී රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා ඔහුට අහිමි වී පුටුව නැවත ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා වන්දනා කරන්නේ විදේශීය තානාපති කාර්යාලය. පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්නේ අපේ 225ම අස්සම් කරලා මට දුන්නත් මම නැවත රනිල් අගමැති කරන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක මම ඉතාම බොහොම පැහැදිලිව කියනවා. එසේ මා කරන්නේ ඔහු රටට නොගැලපෙන දේශපාලඥයෙක්. ඔහුගේ දර්ශනය මේ රටට ගැලපෙන්නේ. රනිල්ගේ අද දවසේ අපිට තිබෙන දේශපාලන අර්බුදය වැඩිම වුණොත් ස්ථිර වශයෙන්ම තව දින 7ක් ඇතුළත අවසන් වන බව මම පැහැදිලිව කියනවා. මේ දේශපාලන අර්බුදය සහ නොසන්සුන්තාවය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අවසන් කරන බව මා ඔබට පැහැදිලිව සහතික වෙනවා. මා ඔබට පැහැදිලිව.
And President Maithripala Sirisena today advised all ministry secretaries to continue public services unhindered. At a meeting held with the secretaries to the ministries this morning at the Presidential Secretariat, the President gave instructions after the Court of Appeal yesterday issued an interim order restraining Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his cabinet from carrying out their duties. The President's media division in the meantime issued a communique stating that the President had issued necessary directives to all public services, triforces and police services to fulfill their duties and responsibilities for national security in such a situation unhindered. Parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa meanwhile filed an appeal at the Supreme Court today against the interim order issued by the Court of Appeal yesterday restraining him in the capacity of Prime Minister as well as his cabinet from functioning. Parliamentarian Johnston Fernando, Dinesh Gunawardena, Chamal Rajapaksa and Vijayadasa Rajapaksa also filed separate appeals at the Supreme Court today.
The Court of Appeal delivered an interim order yesterday restraining Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his cabinet from functioning after taking into consideration the writ of quo warranto filed by 122 legislators including members of the United National Front, Tamil National Alliance, Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, All Ceylon People's Congress and the Janata Vimukti Peramuna against Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and the continuation of his cabinet with no parliamentary majority. Filing his appeal at the Supreme Court against yesterday's interim order by the Court of Appeal, Rajapaksa claimed that yesterday's order was delivered in violation of the Constitution. Parliamentarians Johnston Fernando, Dinesh Gunawardena, Chamal Rajapaksa and Vijayadasa Rajapaksa also filed separate appeals at the Supreme Court today.
Meanwhile, a 7-member bench of judges of the Supreme Court today began hearing the petitions filed against the dissolution of Parliament by President Maithripala Sirisena. 13 fundamental rights petitions were filed at Supreme Court, seeking to declare the President's order to dissolve the Parliament null and void.
The United National Party, Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Tamil National Alliance, Tamil Progressive Alliance, the All Ceylon People's Congress and several other parties filed fundamental rights petitions at the Supreme Court, claiming that the President's order to dissolve Parliament was illegal. Accordingly, the President appointed a 7-member judge bench to hear the case and deliver its verdict on Friday. When the case was taken up today, Attorney K. Kanagiswaran, appearing on behalf of the leader of the opposition, R. Sambandhan, first deliberated his arguments before the bench, stating that one clause of the Constitution cannot be interpreted in isolation and that the entire Constitution should be taken into consideration. Speaking up, President's Counsel Tilak Marapana then said that although there are different views in society regarding the supremacy of the people and protecting the sovereignty, there is no connection between those views and this hearing of petitions. He also pointed out that the President is unable to work only according to Section 33 of the Constitution, ignoring the Section 70. In the meantime, President's Counsel J.C. Valimuna, quoting a statement the President made to the Hindu newspaper, told court that the President had mentioned he had no mandate to dissolve Parliament before 4.5 years of its term incompleted as per the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The petitions will be heard until Thursday the 6th.
Back in politics. Leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickram today said that a legal government should be established and then a motion should be brought in Parliament if it is necessary to go into a general election. He said this addressing a special media briefing at the Temple Trees today. In the meantime, the discussion between the President and the United National Party ended without conclusion yesterday.
On Friday last week, discussions between President Maithripala Sirisena and the representatives of the United National Party on the political developments ended without a decision. In the meantime, a second discussion got underway between the President and the United National Party. The discussion ended with no success. In the meantime, leader of United National Party Ranil Wickremesinghe announced the stance of UNP at a media briefing today.
විවස්ථාව අනුව වැඩ කරනවද නැද්ද කියන එක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රශ්නේ. ඒ විවස්ථාව අනුව අපි හැම වෙලෙම කියලා තියෙනවා ඡන්ද පවත්වන්න. පළවෙනි නීත්‍යානුකූල ආණ්ඩුව යෝජනාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කළා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 3 අනුමත කරොත් පිට පුළුවන් අවුරුදු 4මාරකට පෙර පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරුවා ඡන්දයකට යන්න. ඒ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරා ඉන්න බලෙත් තියෙන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව. ඒ වගේම අපේ ව්‍යවස්ථාවේ අගමැතිවරයෙක් තෝරන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බහුතරයක් තියෙන විදිහට. දැන් මෙතන ඉන්නේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව උල්ලංඝනය කරපු අය. අපි කියන්නේ මේ සෙල්ලම නවත්තන්න ඕනේ. පක්ෂ සියල්ලම එකඟ වෙන දවසක ඡන්දෙ තියන්න. අපිත් තවත් පක්ෂයෙන් ගත්වේ දෙන්නේ. ඒව ගැන කතා කරන්නේ නිල බලයෙන් නීති අනුකූල ආණ්ඩුවක් තියනවා නම් විතරයි. අපේ රජයේ නිලධාරීන්ට අපි කියනවා නීතිය අනුව වැඩ කරන්න කියලා. මොකද අන්තිමට අපි ජය ගන්නවා. ඒක කාටවත් නවත්තන්න බෑ.
අපේ ස්වාධීන අධිකරණය ඊයේ දවසේ හොඳින් අවබෝධ කරගත්තා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බහුතරය කොතනද තියෙන්නේ. අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙන් අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා කරුණා කරලා ව්‍යවස්ථාව පිළිපැදලා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය අනුගමනය කරලා බහුතරයක් තිබෙන අපට ඒ 26 වෙනිදාට පෙර තිබුණු ඒ තත්වයටම ආණ්ඩුව කරගෙන යෑමේ අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්නයි කියලා අපි මේ අවස්ථාවේ කරුණාවෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
Well, the Permanent High Court trial at Bout today ordered to hear the case against former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and 6 others over the alleged misuse of public funds on a daily basis from the 22nd of January next year. The case was taken up before the tri-member judge bench comprising of Justices Sampath Abekun, Sampath Vijayaratna and Champa Janaki Rajaratna.
The case filed by the Attorney General against the former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa and 6 others for allegedly misusing around 34 million rupees of state funds to build the D.A. Rajapaksa Memorial Museum was taken up before the Permanent High Court trial at Bar today. Attorneys representing both the plaintiffs and defendants informed the court that they have received the relevant documents pertaining to the case. Accordingly, the judge bench ordered to take up the case again on the 3rd of January to further scrutinize documents and to take up the case daily from the 22nd of January next year.
මම හිතන්නේ හැම කෙනෙක්ගෙම යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා මේ රට ස්ථාවර කරන්නට. දැන් මම දකින ස්ථාවර කිරීමේ එකම ක්‍රමවේදය තමයි ජනතාවට ඒ බලය ලබා දීම. ඒ කොටෝම ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඔය සීනි ගම අර මෙහෙ යන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ජනතාව වෙතට යන්න ඕන. ආණ්ඩුවක් නැති තරමට දැන් පත්වලා තියෙනවා. වග කියන්න ඕනේ 19 වෙනි සංශෝධනය ගෙනත් මිනිස්සු. මෙච්චර කල් මේ අවුල් තිබුණ නැහනේ. අපි මේක ගෙනාවේ පුද්ගලික හේතුන් මතම. ඉතින් එහෙම රටක් දුවන්න බෑනේ.
ඒ වගේම දැන් අර LTT සංවිධානයේ හිටපු LTT සමාජික
මේ සෑම දෙයක්ම කරන්නේ අර LTT ඩයස්පෝරාවට අවශ්‍ය දේවල් කරන්නට. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් මත විදේශ බලවේග මත මේ ආණ්ඩු පිහිටවලා ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. සජාතිය මහලේකම් ලංකාවට එනවා නේද? මහලේකම්වත් එකයි වෙන කෙනෙක්වත් එකයි. වඩා නැහැනේ. අපි ඉන්නේ අපේ රට බලන්න. ඒ මහලේකම්ලා වැඩක් නැහැනේ අපිට.
Well, police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse protesting university students near the Lotus roundabout this evening. Riot police proceeded to disperse the protesting students as they attempted to push through a road blockade set up near the Lotus roundabout to prevent them from reaching the presidential secretariat. The protesters marched towards the presidential secretariat to hand over a letter against the alleged repression of students at the Rajaraja University and the Southeastern University. The protest march, organised by the Inter-University Students' Federation, commenced near the University of the Visual and Performing Arts in Colombo at around 1:30 this afternoon. The Lotus Road in Colombo was temporarily closed for traffic due to the protest march by university students. Severe traffic congestion was also reported in the area as a result of the protest.
You are watching Sri Lanka's award-winning news channel, Derana 24/7.
On to your business news tonight. Credit rating agencies Fitch and Standard & Poor's downgraded Sri Lanka's outlook today, citing refinancing risks and an uncertain policy outlook. Fitch and S&P SL cut their ratings by 1 notch to B from B+, following Modi's downgrade on the 20th of November. Both agencies cited risks that Sri Lanka could struggle to refinance its debts. Fitch said the country has a heavy external debt repayment schedule between years 2019 and 2022. In a statement, Fitch Ratings said, quote, investor confidence has been undermined as evident from large outflows from the local bond market and a depreciating exchange rate, unquote. The rating agency said that plans to raise funds through bilateral and commercial borrowings or through the exercise of foreign currency swaps could be challenging in the current political climate, though it rated its outlook at stable, meaning it saw a longer-term recovery for the economy that was badly hit by weather-related disruptions in 2016 and 2017. Rating agency Standard & Poor's S&P meanwhile said there has been a significant erosion in the political situation in Sri Lanka, which could affect Sri Lanka's ability to refinance its debts. A statement from S&P said, quote, we lowered our rating on Sri Lanka based on our assessment that the current political standoff has weakened the sovereign's external financing conditions and reduced the likelihood that further reforms will improve Sri Lanka's macroeconomic fundamentals and institutionalize sustainable policy frameworks over the next 12 to 18 months. And the Central Bank of Sri Lanka meanwhile disputed the latest decisions by ratings agencies. In a statement, the country's financial regulator said it is of the view that the decisions by Fitch Ratings and Standard & Poor's to downgrade Sri Lanka's long-term ratings are based on uncorroborated facts on macroeconomic fundamentals. CBS has said in spite of the recent developments in Sri Lanka's political sphere, an array of measures have been taken by central bank and government to minimize any potential impact from political developments on the economy, especially with regard to external financing requirements and debt payment obligations. It reiterated that Sri Lanka's banking and financial sector remain resilient to both domestic and external vulnerabilities. The statement concluded that rating actions are unwarranted, adding that such an action only on the premise of heightened political uncertainty with no evidence of slippage in macroeconomic policies or fundamentals cannot be justified. And at the Colombo Stock Exchange, the all-share price index fell 0.22% to 6,011.68 today, although it rose 1.5% last week. Equities gained 1.1% in November and has declined 5.6% so far this year. Market turnover was around 860 million rupees today, more than this year's daily average of 833.9 million rupees. And the Sri Lankan rupee closed weaker, with banks buying dollars as investors continued to sell rupee-denominated assets on credit ratings downgrades by rating agencies. The rupee traded at 180.57 against the US dollar today. Let's now take a look at how the currency traded against other major currencies across the world. Do stay with us. We'll be back with some of our top political news right after this short commercial break on Other Derana 24/7.
You are watching Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.
The Speaker's office today called for a no-confidence motion against Speaker Karu Jayasuriya if any group is of the view that he made arbitrary decisions over the past few weeks. Issuing a special statement, the Speaker's office also called on President Maithripala Sirisena and other politicians to act promptly to resolve the current political impasse.
In its special statement, Speaker's office commended yesterday's interim order by the Court of Appeal restraining Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and his cabinet from functioning. The statement highlighted that all decisions taken by the Parliament during the past few weeks had been in accordance with the Sri Lankan Constitution, standing orders of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, as well as instructions by both local and foreign legal experts. The Speaker's office also called on groups who do not agree with the latest decisions by the Speaker to bring a no-confidence motion against him in a constitutional and legal manner, instead of insulting and criticizing him publicly. The statement also emphasized that it is the party leader's responsibility to resolve the current issues for smooth functioning of the parliamentary proceedings.
We take a look at your top international news. The French government will suspend the fuel tax rise, which has led to weeks of violent protests that hit major French cities, causing considerable damage for the past 3 weekends. Local media reported that French Prime Minister Edouard Philippe sought compromise with the protesters, but they called off talks, citing death threats from extremists in their ranks. 3 people have died since the Yellow Vests protest began and turned into violent unrest as it grew to reflect widespread anger at the government. Yellow Vests are so called because they have taken to the streets wearing the high visibility yellow clothing required to be carried in every vehicle by French law. The movement has grown via social media and has supporters across the political spectrum. President Emmanuel Macron, who was elected 2 years ago with an overwhelming mandate for sweeping reforms, is set to and seen to have his popularity falling sharply. He has accused his political opponents of hijacking the movement in order to block the reforms. And the brother of Australian cricket star Usman Khawaja, who has been arrested for framing another man over a fake terror plot. According to media reports, police in Australia have charged 39-year-old Aslan Khawaja with forgery and an attempt to pervert, or rather justice. In August this year, Sri Lankan student Mohammed Kamir Nizamdeen was alleged over a plan in a notebook about killing Australian politicians. The Sri Lankan student Nizamdeen was detained in Sydney for a month before being released. The 25-year-old PhD student claimed that he was framed by a rival at his workplace, the University of New South Wales. Today, police alleged that Nizamdeen had been set up in a planned and calculated manner by Aslan Khawaja. Police said Khawaja, who has worked in the same department as Nizamdeen, had been partly motivated by a personal grievance over a woman. In sports, Sri Lanka's cricket team left for New Zealand last night for the upcoming tour. Their captain Dinesh Chandimal was quite optimistic about the team's performance in the tournament.
During the New Zealand tour, Sri Lanka will play 2 test matches, 3 one-day matches and 1 T20 against the host nation.
මම හිතන්නේ ක්‍රීඩකයන් සියලුම දෙනාම ඔවුන්ගේ උත්සාහය යෙදුවා එංගලන්ත සංචාරයේදී. නමුත් අපිට යම් යම් තැන්වල වැරදුනා අපි කණ්ඩායමක් විදියට. ඉතින් ඒ වැරදි හදාගෙන මේ නවසීලන්ත සංචාරයට මුහුණ දෙන්න තමයි අපි කණ්ඩායමක් විදියට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ලොකු පාඩුවක් අපි හැමෝම දන්නවා. අකිල ධනංජය තමයි අන්තිම අවුරුද්දේ අපේ විශේෂඥ දඟපන්දුයන් විදියට ක්‍රීඩා කරේ විශේෂයෙන්ම අංශ 3ෙන්ම. අපි දන්නවා විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ සංචාර 3ේදී අපිට කොහොමත් අපිට වාසිදායක තනනිල්ල මේ හම්බෙන්නේ. ඒක ලොකු චැලෙන්ජ් එකක්. නමුත් අපි හොඳ කණ්ඩායමක් නම් ඒ චැලෙන්ජ් එක බාර ගන්න ඕනේ.
The first test between the two teams will be played in Wellington on the 15th of December.
Real Madrid and Croatia midfielder Luka Modric won the 2018 Ballon d'Or, breaking Cristiano Ronaldo's and Lionel Messi's decade-long hold on the prestigious award. Victory caps a stellar year for Modric, who was also named the world's top male player at the Best FIFA Football Awards 2018 and received the Golden Ball Awards for the Best Player at the World Cup. Well, Lyon and Norway striker Ada Herberg meanwhile won the inaugural Women's Ballon d'Or.
It was professionally one of the best years for 33-year-old Luka Modric, who helped Real Madrid win a third successive Champions League title in May. He also captained Croatia to their first World Cup final and named player of the tournament despite his side losing 4-2 to France. At a glamorous ceremony at the Grand Palais in Paris last night, Modric collected his Ballon d'Or from former France forward David Ginola.
It's a unique feeling. I'm happy, proud and honored. I have sensational emotions at the moment that is really hard to describe by the words.
The award, voted for by journalists and organized by French magazine France Football, has been dominated by Barcelona's Messi and Ronaldo since 2008. However, Ronaldo, who joined Juventus from Real Madrid in the summer, came second, while Barcelona's forward Messi finished in fifth this year. Paris Saint-Germain's France forwarder Kylian Mbappé meanwhile became the first winner of the Copa Trophy, awarded to the best under-21 player selected by former Ballon d'Or winners. Olympique Lyonnais Norway forwarder Ada Hedenberg won the inaugural Ballon d'Or for women's football, having led her side to the Women's Champions League's title, scoring in extra time in the 4-1 win over VfL Wolfsburg in the final.
On to your weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Well, temperatures will vary between 20 to 29 degrees Celsius with the highest temperature expected in the Puttlam district. Showers or thunder showers are expected across the island tomorrow as well. However, provinces of the western, north-eastern, north-central, Uva as well as the districts of Hambantota, Galle and Mathura will see fairly heavy falls of about 75 millimeters during most parts of the day tomorrow. Misty conditions can also be expected in certain places in the central, Sabragamo and western provinces during just the morning hours. Here's a look at your city-by-city weather forecast for the next 24 hours. That's it from your English broadcast of Other Derana 24/7. But before we go, as usual, we'd like to leave you with some visuals. And tonight, we take you to Nuwara, as usual, and the most beautiful cities of Sri Lanka. Nuwara, or more famously known as Little England, was a picturesque retreat for British colonists during the colonial era. But today, this historical city has become a sanctuary for both local and foreign tourists who crave for the temperate climate and scenic hills.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.